Opening round at the always scenic Pebble Beach Pro-Am, Rory McIlroy on the Spyglass Hill side of the draw. Here at the par 3 15th from a $130. He hit it, well, a $130. Take our word for it. Just out of frame, but straight into the cup. An ace for Roars. McIlroy rolling towards a bogey-free 66 with a 1 on the card. Always welcome. Scotty Scheffler, welcome to your season as he rolls one in there at the par 4 4th, also at Spyglass Hill. Pebble on Friday for both of those previously pictured. It's one of 6 birdies on the day for Scotty Scheffler, a 5 under 67 to get things started. 3 off the lead of Russell Henley at 8 deep. For more, we say hello to CBS Sports golf analyst Rick Gehman. Rick, we'll start here with Scotty. I mean, he kicks the rust off with a bogey at the first. 6 birdies, 11 pars from there in. And again, the foundation on which he builds apparent, the approach play.
He gave them 2 holes, Joe. A bogey on the first, a par on a par 5 for his second hole of the day, and then he turned into Scotty Scheffler again. And you nailed it. The way that he hits his second shots is nothing short of spectacular. The one thing that we've seen over the last couple of years from Scotty is that he always has his distance control correct. He might miss a little bit left, a little bit right, but he's always pin high, and we saw that on every single approach in the opening round, and that was really good to see. You know, we didn't know what that now healed right hand was going to do, if it was going to impact his grip, if it was going to change any of his mechanics, but he looked just as good in the opening round at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am as he did for the large majority of the last couple of years. So this is scary stuff for everybody because Scotty is back, and when Scotty is back, he's going to start winning golf tournaments in a hurry.
Yeah, I heard him say to JT during the practice round, still has a little bit of tape on there to prevent some scarring more than anything else, but appeared to be fully on form. And we're going to get the world #1 at Pebble Beach, a place so recognizable. Will be appointment television in the days to come here. Rory McIlroy also making his season debut. Rick, Spyglass for him as well. Records his second career ace on tour, 6 holes into his season, and a blemish-free 66, coming off the heartbreak of the Ball Frogs on Monday night. What'd you make of his immediate form this season?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. A bounce back game for Rory McIlroy. But I love the way he played. You know, he spent a lot of time overseas. He did the Middle East swing in the fall and into the winter. And now he's back here in the States. And I always worry about a golf course like Pebble Beach. It's the shortest golf course that we have on the PGA Tour schedule. You don't have the opportunity to hit a lot of drivers, and that's really the strength of Rory McIlroy's game. It was really nice to see how dialed in his wedges were. So if you're not able to bomb driver everywhere, you're just going to end up hitting a lot of wedges into this golf course for Rory, and he did beautifully. That ace that he made on number 15, his 6th hole, as you mentioned, Joe, of the tournament, I mean, it was literally perfect. He flew it the correct number directly into the bottom of the cup, and that's a really good sign for Rory. We see that when his approach play, or excuse me, when his wedge play is above average, he gives himself an unbelievable amount of birdie opportunities, and if he continues to do that over the course of the final 3 rounds, he's going to be in really good position when we get to the back 9 on Sunday. So this was a very encouraging, really good start from Rory McIlroy.
I know you guys talk about the wedges with Rory often, developing that second serve, that different pitch, that changeup, if you will, that 60% wedge, excuse me, and if he can have that dialed in and know those numbers at this point of the season, good things to come. He did putted a little bit below average here to the course average, across the field. Russell Henley is our leader at 8 under. He's been simmering at the surface now for a while. I mean, 6 top 10s in 20 starts last season, Rick. Lowest round on Spy by 2 strokes here in the opening round. Carries the lead into Friday. I feel like he's a guy who's an accumulator. Over 4 days, he ends up there in those top 10s. But he surely popped here on Thursday. What'd you make of it?
Yeah, he did, and he did it in a very un-Russell-esque fashion. It was a little bit bizarre. So he picked up about 5.7 strokes to the field, but he actually lost strokes on approach, the second shots. And Russell Henley, over the last handful of seasons on the PGA Tour, has been one of the best approach players in the world. I think he was 35th last year. He was inside the top 10 each of the previous 2 seasons. And I can go both ways with this. Either the second shots are not good enough this week, and he is eventually going to regress because you are unlikely to win this golf tournament losing strokes on approach, or he has just banked a bunch of strokes to the field in the short game categories, and if he kind of flips the switch again the rest of the week and goes back to his ball striking averages, That's going to be pretty scary. You're right, Joe. He's an accumulator. He's not afraid of the big moment. He is a winner when he's when he has the opportunity to get there and get across the finish line. So I could go both ways here. I think the second round is really going to be interesting to see how he responds.
I don't see the old Georgia Bulldog going away quickly. Maybe over these next few days we see a different name at the top of the leaderboard, but Russell Henley certainly one to keep an eye on throughout this year after what he did a year ago. We did see Spyglass play a stroke and a half harder than Pebble throughout the day. Weather always unpredictable on the Monterey Peninsula. Can you identify a good or bad side of the draw thus far, and who does that push you towards on Friday?
Yeah, the forecast is benign, and that's putting it lightly. I mean, little to no wind around the Monterey Peninsula forecasted which was correctly forecasted for the opening round, and kind of a similar story on Friday for the second round. And that would be really good news for Justin Thomas, who has already played the harder golf course. He is leading the field in strokes gained approach. We know he gives himself so many great opportunities when he has a wedge in hand, and now he should be, Joe, licking his chops to get to Pebble Beach, because if he can go out and beat the field average by just a stroke or two on that side, he is going to be well under par. And he is one of these golfers that we have seen over the last 6 or 8 months really get back to his DNA of being a top elite player on the PGA Tour. I think those wins are coming, and I believe that with a really solid round on Friday at Pebble Beach, this could be one. The one thing I would caution, Joe, is there was a wave that got kind of the wrong side of it at Torrey Pines last week. The North Course and the South Course played identical in the second round. If that happens again in the second round of the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, it would be bad news for Justin Thomas.
And at worst, it's a day at Pebble. Rick Gehman, we appreciate you as always. Plenty of week to come here on CBS Sports HQ. And this weekend, the thrilling conclusion coming your way on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus. And as you know, the conversation always continuing on the First Cut podcast. Rick Gehman and the gang, round by round, under the ropes, into the action. Download, subscribe, and enjoy the First Cut podcast.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you.
Big news coming out of the NFL. A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
With highlights.
What a finish at the final round of play.
And in-depth analysis.
Can they three-peat? Tony Romo joins the conversation.
What can you say about this game?
When you need your sports in a snap,
we're bringing you that breaking news right here on HQ.
Find it on CBS Sports HQ. Streaming free anywhere you are.